Dude, there's no way we just got Mikal Bridges. I was about to go to the gym to play basketball in my Knicks shirt, and I got a text. This is crazy. I made a video, I think a week ago, talking about Mikal Bridges. I didn't see it as very realistic. I put him as the best possible option for us because of his ability to defend, play make, shoot off the dribble, very efficient scorer, of course, with playmakers around him, Randle and Brunson. Villanova connection with Devo, Hart, and Brunson. Go ahead and figure out what we traded. I know we didn't give up Randle, but all right, so let's quickly. Is this true? Yeah, it's true. Trust me, I don't believe it myself, and I know it's true. So I haven't streamed in a year probably, so bear with me, but I'm trying to figure out how this stuff works. Waiting for more people to get in here, and then I'll break my thoughts down. I also need a thumbnail. I'm waiting on Chris too. But yeah, we already got 19 people in here right away. This is wild. This was the best possible trade we could have made, and we didn't give up Julius Randle. If it were up to me, I would have preferred this trade without giving up Randle, and it happened. I mean, this automatically to me puts the Knicks as not the favorites in the East. That would be ridiculous, but I think we're clearly the second best team in the East. Like, I don't think that's even debatable. We now have, assuming we bring back OG and Bridges together defensively would be amazing. We need to keep OG. Yeah, I completely agree. It's probably going to cost 35 to 40 million annually, but 20-3 with him last year in the lineup. He can shoot the three ball. You kind of have to overlook the injuries. So we need iHeart and OG. Oh, yeah, that's true. Isaiah Hartenstein's a guy that I keep overlooking because of OG, but Hartenstein's also important. You look at what he did with the absence of Mitchell Robinson last year, missed like half the season, and he stepped in, and we were just better. We were just simply better. The only concern is defensively with Hartenstein. I don't think he's the best defender, but with Bridges and with OG, that sort of makes up for it because they're just such good defenders that they're going to be flying around, making it difficult. And the only big we have to worry about in the East is Embiid. So we could probably sign someone to at least throw some size in Embiid if we do have to go up against them again in the playoffs. But in my opinion, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say Brunson had a better season than Embiid. Like, Embiid's a 7'1", Brunson's 6'2", so it's like you can't really compare them. But if we go up against the Sixers in the playoffs, I have Brunson outplaying Embiid every single time anyway. So even if he dominates us, Brunson's going to dominate. The guy was averaging over 30 a game in the playoffs on good splits. Not as good of splits as the regular season, but again, with Randle out there, Brunson will be more efficient. So we didn't get to see Brunson and Randle in the playoffs, and he still led the league in scoring. So yeah, I'm just waiting for more people. There's 58 people in here. I did not think that many people would join. See if we can get some more, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. And I haven't even looked at the trade. I didn't see Randle's name, but I haven't looked at the picks or anything because I'm trying to wait to see if more people are going to join. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. I need a thumbnail, bro. I'm kind of waiting on that too, because right now the thumbnail is just me from like 3 years ago. It's kind of funny, but I guess we could start breaking it down. We might as well. Let's take a look. So the Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle on a trade to send Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first, a protected first-round pick via Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, and a second round. That's a lot of picks. But again, we were never giving up Randle, so we kind of had to give up a bunch of picks. So 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected, an unprotected pick swap. I mean, that's not technically giving up a pick, but we're swapping. Man, so in total, 5 first, a pick swap, and a second. So 6 picks. I actually don't mind that trade at all. And if you look at Mikal Bridges, I'm going to pull up his numbers for you guys. So hold on, give me a sec. I have him in my notes from my last video. So Brooklyn, they owed him $24 million annually over the next 2 seasons. He's going to be eligible for a 3-year, $113 million extension in October, but I highly doubt he's going to take that. Probably wait until he hits free agency in 2026. Bridges averaged 22, 5, and 4 last season ahead of the All-Star break. but after that 17, 4, and 4 while shooting 40%. The reason why I think Bridges fell off in the second half is because he was playing on the Brooklyn Nets. And he even said, quote, "I didn't have the right headspace. I wasn't as strong and positive as I should have been towards the end, being so beat up mentally and lacking confidence. I think that hurt me," and quote. He even added, "You could say it was a failure 100%. It's tough, especially seeing the teams that are there in the playoffs and you just know the talent we have and things like that." He's now with his friends, Brunson, Devo, Hart, Villanova, Wildcats. They won a championship. He's with a championship contender in the New York Knicks. There could not have been a better move this offseason for the Knicks. You keep Randle. Randle, Brunson, OG. They, what was it, 14-2? And then the injuries kicked in to Randle and OG. Overall 20-3 when OG was in the lineup. To get Bridges without giving up anyone outside of Bojan, the only reason Bojan is in this trade is for salary purposes, obviously. We guaranteed that deal because of that, so we could trade him. I mean, the picks mean something, but we've been saving the picks to make a trade. And I said to you guys pretty much every single day that reports were coming out that this was the summer the Knicks were making a massive move with their picks. And here it is, right? So, wow. I mean, it's hard to even fathom getting a player like Mikal Bridges. He's not a superstar. I think he's a fringe all-star player, but we didn't need that. We needed somebody that can play their role next to OG. It's the same thing with OG. OG isn't a superstar. He might not even be an all-star. But he shoots a three ball. He defends. He gives you a little bit of everything while also playing high-level defense. 2 steals a game for OG, 1 block. Mikal Bridges is good defensively as well, but he also can give you more scoring than OG can. I mean, Bridges is – I remember, what was it? Was it last season in the second half where he just was lighting the league on fire? He's averaging like 27 a game. We have 124 people in here. That's insane, bro. I did not think I'd have that many in here. I believe we had 8 picks total. I think it was 9. But in terms of how many we could trade, maybe you're right on that. But I think overall we have 9 first. But obviously that's going to go down. Now, do we have 0 picks now? No, we still have picks. Because think of all the trades the Knicks have been making. New management has completely changed around the direction of the team. And this is a move that the Knicks just never were able to make because for a variety of reasons, mostly just making bad moves. We used to trade our picks for the wrong things and reasons. Nets fan here, how y'all feeling about this trade? I mean, to me, it's a win-win trade. I'm not going to sit up here and be like the Knicks fleece the Nets just because you guys are getting a ton of picks. Clearly, the Nets need to enter a rebuild. I mean, I like a couple of players they have in the roster. I like Claxton. I like Thomas. But to keep Bridges just doesn't make a lot of sense. For us, those picks, I'm not going to – like, again, they don't not matter, but we're trying to win a championship, and it wouldn't have made a lot of sense to trade Randle because why start over when you literally were playing the best basketball you've played in 2 decades with Randle, OG, and Brunson. It's a small sample size, but we know that the Knicks can win games at a high level against good opponents with that. So basically it's like, okay, what's our options here? Mikal Bridges was number 1 on my list. Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and Cat were my main sort of moves. I actually was working on a Jimmy Butler video before this news broke. Obviously, that no longer needs to be made, but yesterday you said trade him for Paul George. Yeah, and I stand on that. I would trade Paul George, or sorry, I'm a Knicks fan. I would trade Julius Randle for Paul George because Paul George is a better fit to this team because he's a significantly better off-ball player than Randle. He's a better defender. I mean, Paul George, when healthy, is an absolute star. Julius Randle, I like him, man. I get he's younger and things like that, but you look at how you win in the NBA, guys like OG, guys like Mikal Bridges, but now that we have those two, then I'm fine with keeping Randle. Obviously, there's no need for Paul George, but it's more so the fit. Like, Paul George is the perfect fit to this team. But that's obviously looking past his age. He's like 35. Yeah, exactly. And health, I was about to say that next. So that's what it was about. It's not a diss to Randle. It's just I haven't seen Julius Randle have a good playoffs yet. Paul George, I guess, isn't the best playoff player, but to beat Boston, we need wings that can defend. Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, we need guys to throw at them. And that's why I wanted Paul George. But no, it does not mean that OG's gone. I don't think so. I don't know why we would let OG walk. The question for OG is, are the Knicks going to pay up? Because I saw a report earlier, and it was that OG is going to make at least $35 million a year. That's where the bidding starts. So y'all still couldn't beat the Celtics, and I completely disagree with that take. I think the Knicks are just as good as the Celtics. We just didn't get to see them healthy. You have to remember the Knicks went to a game 7 against the Pacers without Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Boyan, Brunson, and obviously got hurt later on. But I mean, guys were just getting injured left and right. And not to mention as well that at the end of the season, the Knicks were up 30 points on the Celtics in the Garden, the Boston TD Garden, with their starters, and then they rested them. So I don't think Boston's a bad matchup by any means for the Knicks. And now with Mikal Bridges, assuming OG stays, you have Bridges and OG defensively. You have Jalen Brunson, who would be the best player, in my opinion, in that series. Yes, he's better than Tatum. He's better than Brown. Dante DiVincenzo is a 40% three-point shooter, also gives you good defense. The question is, what do we get at the center position? Like Isaiah Hartenstein, we don't even know if he's coming back. We don't even know if OG's coming back. The Celtics are levels above the Knicks. I just don't get how that take makes any sense, because clearly the Knicks were the best team in the NBA when they had OG, Randle, and Brunson playing. The reason why the Knicks didn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals is because of injuries. That's really it. And yeah, there's a reason as well why the Celtics had an easy ride to the finals. They beat the Heat without Jimmy. They beat the Cavs. Mitchell got hurt. Allen got hurt. And then they beat the Pacers, who were a young team that were only there because the Knicks were hurt. So yeah, I mean, of course, the Celtics are a great team, top 5 in offense and defense. But when Jalen Brunson's on the basketball court, I don't fear any team or any opponent because I know what he's capable of. And now that Mikal Bridges is here, the chemistry is going to be there. He fits our team perfectly. To think that Tatum and Brown are better than Brunson shows that you obviously didn't watch very many Knicks games. Jalen Brunson was a top 5 player in the NBA this season, and it's not even debatable. I think Jalen Brunson's the best Knick since Patrick Ewing, and that says a lot because Carmelo Anthony played here. But Brunson, the guy is just unbelievably good, and he's 6'2", so he's my height. He's not that athletic, but it's just all skill, all footwork. Randle getting moved, I don't know about that. I don't know. Because now that we have Bridges, I don't see why we would move Randle. Randle has a lot of potential. I have my concerns with Randle. We won 50 games without him. He's a ball stopper. He hasn't had a good playoffs. But at the same time, when Randle's at his best, he's a 25-10 guy. So it's like, at his best. So yeah, I really don't see Randle getting traded. I don't think the Knicks have any interest in trading Randle, especially because to this point, who would we get? We're not getting Paul George. We're not getting Jimmy Butler, even though we've had interest in them. When is he at his best? Early November to when did he get injured? January, I don't remember exactly, but for a couple of months he was at his best. I thought Randle was playing the best basketball of his career. And this is coming from someone that isn't a big Julius Randle fan. I'm saying this. I get why Knicks fans like Julius Randle. I just don't know if we can win with him. That's kind of where I'm at. Because the way the ball moved after Randle got hurt was something that I'm intrigued by. I think the ball is going to move better without Julius Randle. But at the same time, if we go up against the Celtics, do I want Julius Randle or do I not? Obviously, I want him. So that's kind of where I'm at. Dante is coming off the bench. I don't think that's true. I think it's going to be Brunson, Devo. At the 3 is going to be Bridges, and then at the 4 is going to be OG, and then at the oh no, you're actually right. You're right. I keep forgetting Randle because he got injured. So it's going to be what? So Bridges is going to play. How's that going to work? So you have Brunson, Randle, Hartenstein, Bridges, OG. Damn, that's crazy. So Hart and Devo coming off of the bench. Miles McBride. That's a scary bench. Wow, the Knicks just got a lot better with this trade. I didn't even think about that. Isaiah Hartenstein over Randle for the fit. Hartenstein definitely does fit our team better, but like Julius Randle's an all-star. Isaiah is a role player. He opted out of his contract so he can get more money. OG, yeah, of course. First of all, Randle, I'm pretty sure is 29, but you have to realize when I say potential, I mean moving forward for next season. Obviously, Randle's not 22 years old, but the potential's there because we saw it. We saw in the month of January, the Knicks lost just 2 games. They were the best defensive team in the NBA. They were blowing out like the Timberwolves, the Sixers. the Nuggets, blowing those teams out of the water. The Knicks were the best team in the NBA that month. It wasn't even close. And then the injuries kicked in. So Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randle, Hartenstein. Mitch is 100% being traded, so we'll go with Hartenstein. The Knicks can pay OG more than anyone. That actually isn't true because the Thunder are a team that can certainly pay more than us. The 76ers are a team that can pay more than us. There's a couple other teams I can't recall at the top of my head, but let's see. McBride, Devo, Hart, Achua. Achua's a restricted free agent. I think we'll probably bring him back. Yeah, and then I think we'll probably draft a center as well, who will be our backup big. Philly can pay him more. Yeah. No more PG, thank God. I mean, I don't think Paul George was ever going to be a Knick. I just thought that the fit would have been great. I think PG and OG would have been really fun, but obviously there's a lot of concerns with Paul George. Is he needs an extension and he's a little bit older, but in injury concerns too. But is OG gone? I don't know, man. I really don't know because I don't know what the Knicks are thinking. All of my videos come off of what I research and find on the internet and stuff like that, but I don't think this move has anything to do with OG. I think this was just a move where the Knicks saw an opportunity to get better, and they did it. I don't think they were thinking about OG or Randle. I mean, if you were to tell me Mikal Bridges was traded to the Knicks, I wouldn't have believed you because the Knicks and the Nets, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, was it 1983, the last time he made a trade with the Nets? I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 1983. Yet alone it being Mikal Bridges, a guy who has shown that he can give you 20 a night and play good defense. He can move the ball. He can shoot off the dribble. I mean, this move to me puts us right next to Boston. Even without Mikal Bridges, so assuming OG and Hartenstein were back, I would have thought we'd have a great chance against Boston. But you add in Bridges, now I feel extremely confident. He doesn't get hurt. That's another point that I didn't even mention. Yeah, he's very durable, which is something that's important. I'm surprised the Nets took the Knicks package. I am too. I mean, what did we get? What did I say? 5 first-round picks, a swap, and a second. Bojan Bogdanovic for salary purposes. All right, let me quickly change the thumbnail, and then we're going to go ahead and – oh, yeah, hold on. Just so you guys know that this is real, let me scroll up so now you can see that's the official Woj. Because I completely get it. That does look kind of fake because most of us thought Bridges wouldn't be traded to the Knicks. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's just really cool, dude. He fits our team perfectly. He already has a good connection with our main players because of college and they won a championship together. Best case scenario. I do want to go ahead and look on Twitter and just sort of see how this impacts OG and Randle because you'd have to imagine that it has to, right? I mean, can we even afford all? Can we afford to pay OG Hartenstein and have Mikal Bridges? That's what I'm wondering. I don't even know if we can. So have to definitely go look at that. I don't know. From what I've read, I don't think the Knicks plan on moving on from Randle. But at the same time, did you trade RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly for nothing for a guy to walk? But at the same time, maybe the Knicks are like, it sucks, but we can't trust OG. He hasn't played, 70 games since his rookie year in 2017, 2018. We'd love to have him back, but we just financially can't take the risk. I mean, that's the thing. But do you let OG go to the 76ers? I certainly don't want to see Philly with Maxey, OG, and Embiid. But now that we have Mikal Bridges, it's like we can kind of do – I don't know. It's just there's so many things to question. It's just, But, yeah, that's absolutely wild, man. I was literally, like I said, if you guys just joined, I was about to go play basketball at the gym, and then I saw that we made this trade. I was like, all right, well, I might as well just go live. But I mean, the Knicks making this move before the draft, the night before, is pretty crazy too. What question is what picks did we actually give up? So do we still have what, a first round pick, Dallas's pick? Yep, and this is the main reason why I wanted Paul George. But the fact that we got a younger player for not giving up Randle, obviously I'll take any single day. They're awfully similar players. Yeah. We need OG. I think we do too. I don't think we can beat Boston without OG. And that's kind of where I'm at with Randle. Is I think we can beat Boston without Randle if we have OG and Bridges, but that's kind of the thing. Imagine OG and Mikal Devo off the bench. Yeah, Josh Hart, Miles McBride coming off the bench. Mitchell Robinson is more than likely going to be traded, but we still have a pick for tomorrow. All right, that's good because we definitely need at least one pick so we can have somebody at the end of our bench that we can develop. Terrible trade. I don't know how anyone could think that as a Knicks fan because we just got a player who everyone in basketball wanted. Like name it, like I guess like technically besides the Nets, but the Nets are in a situation to where Bridges is never going to have more value because in 2 years he's going to hit free agency. So they're thinking let's just get as much value as we can. But Bridges fits every team. I mean, this literally was the number one option on my list this offseason because he just does everything. He's healthy, he's durable, and his age, he's what, 27 years old? Oh, and he's on a cheap contract as another thing. So as a fan of the Knicks, I mean, you just have to be ecstatic about this move. I mean, it's the best case scenario, and I would have thought we would have had to trade Randle. If you were to tell me the Knicks were going to trade Boyan and 5 picks and a swap in a second, I mean, I would have said, no way, they're not taking that. And I know that's a lot, but at the same time, it's like normally you need to get a player back or two, and they got Boyan, who's a little bit older and expiring. I mean, so I like the trade, man, I do. I mean, this is the type of move that the Knicks just never normally made. And yeah, I mean, as Woj said, it's a steep price to land one of the league's most coveted trade assets, and the Nets get a massive haul. It's just a win-win trade. If you're a Nets fan, you love this trade. If you're a Knicks fan, you love this trade. I mean, you guys have to understand that this upcoming season, assuming we stay healthy, is going to be the best Knicks season since I've been alive. I mean, and I've been alive for a pretty good amount of time. Obviously, I wasn't watching basketball when I was 2 years old, but I started watching the Knicks around 2010, like seriously becoming like a diehard fan. And we haven't had this type of roster ever. I mean, it's just pretty crazy. Yeah, no, I completely think the Nets got a great haul in this trade. They got 5 first-round picks. I think the Nets did a great job in this trade. They just gained 5 more picks. Like, of course, they should be happy, but at the same time, the Knicks just got a piece that will put them into that next tier. I think the Knicks were a team that could have challenged Boston, but not beaten Boston. I think with Bridges, they can now beat Boston. Bridges is good, but not a star. But the thing is, he doesn't need to be a star. He just needs to give us 20 a night and play good defense. Or not even 20, 15 a night. Right? So chemistry, exactly. Huge chemistry. I mean, basketball isn't just about star players. The Knicks have a star. They have a superstar in Jalen Brunson. They have an all-star, 3-time all-star in Julius Randle. It's like DiVincenzo. Is Dante DiVincenzo an all-star? No, he's not. But his impact for the Knicks last season was all-star-like. The way he shot the 3 ball, the way he was active defensively. Late game situations, Dante hit a ton of clutch shots in the playoffs especially. So there's more than just, ESPN stats. Like I go and look up Mikal Bridges' stats. He plays above that. Some guys are like that. Like OG, for example. OG's numbers aren't worth 35 to 40 million a year, but teams know that, hey, look, when he was on the Knicks, they went 20-3. His defense made the Knicks go from basically a mediocre team defensively to the number 1 ranked defensive team. So that's what I'm saying about Mikal Bridges. Exactly. And this is also a huge point is defensively, OG and Mikal, that's not something you want to attack. You look at Tatum and Brown, I feel like they had it too easy in the playoffs. Nobody that they faced, the Heat, the Cavs, the Pacers, the Mavs, who actually were an elite defensive team, but nobody was able to challenge those guys. Now you have Brown and Tatum having to have good elite defenders on them, and then they have to deal with Bridges and OG, who can both give you 15 and 20 a night, and also Jalen Brunson, who was averaging like 33 in the playoffs. So, in our bench too, look at our bench. Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo would start for the majority of teams, And Miles McBride's a guy who a lot of Knicks fans just continue to sleep on. And I'm not saying you guys in here, but from what I've seen in my comments, Knicks fans sleep on Miles McBride. There was a video that came out like 2 weeks ago, and Miles McBride was just walking around asking Knicks fans about Miles McBride. They didn't even know who he was. So that's the thing is, McBride, when he started for us, averaged 17 a game. We know he shot over 40 from three. Defensively, he's good. Yeah, I mean, not trading McBride, like I would not have traded McBride for anyone this offseason, man. That's how high I am on him. And it's also his value of contract too. Is that because Brunson is getting extended, because Randle's getting extended, you now have to construct the roster very wisely. And OG is getting paid. Isaiah is getting paid. We're going to be paying $50 million between both Isaiah and of course OG. And to be able to build a championship team around that's very difficult. But because we have contracts like McBride, that's why it's so important. Yeah, exactly. He's cheap, and I mean decent, I guess is fair, but he is a guy who can come in and knock down some shots and play high level defense. He just knows his role. The only thing about McBride is he's not a playmaker. We don't have a second playmaker on this roster outside of Jalen Brunson. That's a little bit concerning, but so we traded RJ quickly, Boyan, and 5 firsts for Bridges. That's crazy. I mean, I think I can speak for a lot of people in here. RJ Barrett's potential with the Knicks wasn't very high, at least in my opinion. I don't think we were going to get much out of RJ Barrett. Emmanuel quickly was hitting free agency, so getting out of that, I'm fine with. Boyan is Boyan. We can easily replace him in free agency. We can probably bring someone in on a vet's minimum that can replace Boyan. And then 5 first. I'd rather put the 5 first into a 27-year-old guy who already has amazing chemistry with our team because he went to college with them and they talk, and you can tell that after games they're laughing and joking. And yeah, just the contract is cheap. The youth, I mean, 27 is so young. I know there's probably a lot of people in here that are like 18 years old and they think 27 is old. It's not at all. It's entering the prime of your career, essentially, for a professional athlete. So OG is not resigning. It's clear as day. If we don't, exactly. But OG is not resigning. It's clear as day. If we lose OG, I don't think it's the end of the world because the dude hasn't played in 70 games since his rookie season, which was in 2017, 2018. He wasn't available against the Pacers, right? He played the first 2 games, got injured, the hamstring, whatever. Technically came back in Game 7, but should never have come back to begin with. Now he wants $35 million annually at minimum. A guy who just we can't trust him. Like we just can't trust OG. So if he does walk, I don't think it's the end of the world because I'd rather let him walk than pay him because we have to pay him and then he gets injured and now it's like we can't even construct the roster. So I don't know. We actually didn't give away all our assets because first of all, we lost Boyan, who was only brought back to trade him anyway. And then the picks is like they're draft picks, man. We still have 3, actually, I think technically 4 picks after that. Wait, we give up 5, so we have 4 because we had 9 first. So Bridges is definitely more valuable than OG, 100%. Yeah, we traded for Boyan, but what did we even give up? Quentin Grimes? Did we give up a first in that? I don't know. Remember exactly what we gave up, but we didn't really give up much for him anyway. Let's go look. I'll go check Woj's Twitter. All right, that pick does not matter to us as Knicks fans, but all right. I mean, that pick right there is so legendary. I mean, I don't think a lot of Knicks fans in the stream right now understand that the potential of this team. And it's going to be like a movie. I mean, the chemistry is going to be just through the roof. All right, where are the Knicks stuff? So I want to know what picks we gave up because I'm just as curious as you guys. The Knicks still determined to keep OG in free agency. Source tell spent. All right, there you go, guys. Let's talk about this. So let's focus our attention to this. So a lot of people were making the assumption that we were now completely off of OG. That's not the case, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. The The Knicks are loading up on wings to match up. Okay, thank you. This is what I've been telling you guys for weeks now. I got a lot of hate, which is fine because it's part of doing this. You're going to get hate. People have their own opinion. The reason why I wanted Paul George was because we needed to load up on wings to be able to beat Boston. Somebody has to beat Boston, so why not it be us? And that's why I was like, hey, let's go get Paul George. But we didn't do that. We got Mikal Bridges, which I wanted him way more than Paul George anyway. So that's the thing is we have to build our team to be able to beat who's in front of us. It's not just like in 2K where you just get the best team. Like, no, this team has to be able to win basketball games at a high level. Woj says the ability to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein becomes more difficult now. That's a huge problem. And I get that. It's 20-3, by the way. We went 20-3 with OG, but again, where was he when we needed him most? Injured, as always. But, yeah, I mean, to Woj's point, we need Isaiah back. I get that Mitchell Robinson's better defensively than Isaiah, but Mitch in his own right, to me, I have concerns with his injuries. And Mitch just doesn't give us anything outside of rebounding offensively. He can grab offensive rebounds, but so can Isaiah. Isaiah's a good passer. He spaces the floor better. He just has more IQ. The question is, though, is Isaiah going to take a pay cut? That's the thing. I don't know. Because if I'm Isaiah Hartenstein, I can get probably $20 million a year annually this year at minimum. 20 to 25. I know that sounds crazy as Knicks fans, but like that's the reality of his market. Do I take 17 million to come back to the Knicks? Maybe. Because clearly Isaiah's biggest opportunity is with the Knicks. You can be the starting center on potentially the championship New York Knicks, right? And I'm saying potentially, I'm not saying we're going to win it, but to me, with Mikal Bridges, I don't fear Boston. I never feared them to begin with. I mean, the last time we saw Boston, we had a 30-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson looked like a man possessed. But, I mean, could you imagine if Isaiah just takes a little bit of a pay cut and comes – the chemistry is another thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Isaiah was on Brunson and Hart's podcast, and it was just hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. That starting five, man, would just be comedy, bro, but it would be really good at basketball too. You think Isaiah's more available. Isaiah's better. I think Mitchell Robinson is important to us because of his defense against Joel Embiid if we were to see them in the playoffs. But outside of that, I would take Isaiah any day. And I just don't think Mitch is disciplined enough too. I feel like he lets a lot get to his head. And I get it, man. Mental health gets overlooked for men. But it's like if you're playing for the Knicks in this type of market and sold out arena every night, you've got to be laser beam focused. You've got to be locked in. And I feel like Mitch often at times is not. And that's just a huge concern. But Isaiah just doesn't care. Isaiah doesn't care what any of us in here think about him or anyone in the NBA world. He's going to go out there and compete at a high level. And yeah, that's the thing is the vibes with Mikal Bridges are going to be through the roof. Not to mention he's a very good basketball player too. So chemistry is going to be huge for the Knicks winning a championship. And the chemistry just went up significantly. So, I mean, yeah, that's going to be the thing. Yeah, nothing like me going live and the cat meowing at the outside door. Yeah, I'm just looking at your guys' comments, seeing if there's anything I want to talk about. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we really didn't give up anything significant for Boyan. I like Quentin Grimes. I thought he was a very good player, but he just wasn't consistent. So I'll check out Woj to see if he tweeted anything else. His last tweet was 6 minutes ago, which we just looked at. Pretty crazy. I mean, there's a lot going on in the NBA right now. You have the Houston Rockets trying to trade for Kevin Durant. You have the New York Knicks acquiring Mikal Bridges. I mean, this is just pretty crazy. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably going to get copyrighted for this, but clearly, Villanova winning a national championship was awesome with these four guys. And it just doesn't really seem real, man. I mean, the Knicks got the guy that they probably wanted the most this offseason, and they did it without giving up a significant player, right? I would have thought we would have had to give up McBride or a Julius Randle or a Mitchell Robinson, but we do it with just giving up Boyan. Crazy trade, man. I mean, it's awesome. It's great to see. I agree. Isaiah over Mitch. Plus, imagine a hack of Mitch strategy. Love Mitch and his offensive rebounding, but Isaiah is a great offensive rebounder as well, and we're trying to get to the next level. I completely agree with this take. That's something that I didn't even mention. Is Mitch is a liability at the free throw line. He just never has improved at that. It's something he just couldn't do, and he hasn't been able to do. We were at our best with Isaiah Hartenstein over Mitch, and I'd imagine every Knicks fan in here listening to this stream would agree. I'm not saying that a healthy Mitchell Robinson prior to his injury was worse than Isaiah, because he wasn't. But at the same time, our record speaks for itself. It was statistically better last season with Isaiah in the starting lineup. And you can tell that this guy's IQ is just through the roof. He complements Brunson well. These guys are always on the same page. Rebounding is great for Isaiah, of course. And then just his discipline, his ability to move forward. I mean, Isaiah didn't have the best moments every single game, but you can tell whenever he struggled, had an off time or an off moment, he bounced back. He was just very resilient. I think Isaiah is the perfect center for our team, but we obviously need somebody behind him that is a little bit better defensively, right? Whether that be a free agent or we draft a rookie with size or something like that. I mean, we do need somebody behind Isaiah, but we've got Jericho Sims. But do I trust Jericho Sims in the playoffs to play key minutes? Probably not. So that's the thing, is we're going to have to upgrade that. But I mean, I think everyone overlooks Isaiah because OG, everyone's like, OG, we need him back. Isaiah, what about him? Don't we need him back? See what I'm saying? So what do you think? Oh, I completely missed your last message. Let me scroll up. Oh, no, I did respond to that. Yeah, Isaiah is more available. That was one of my main focal points, was that Isaiah is just way more durable. So that's another reason. We don't want anybody that's injury prone coming to the team. And I get that I want a Paul George, and that kind of contradicts my point. But again, I wanted Mikal over Paul George anyway. So this is perfect. Magic fan, can you afford to keep Isaiah? You don't think he'll be picked up by another team? No. Short answer, we cannot afford Isaiah. If Isaiah does come back, he's going to have to take a pay cut. That's up to him. Truly, because OKC, and I think you guys, I don't really know much about the Magic because I only follow the Knicks. So, but I know the Magic have a good amount of cap space, and they could be a team maybe that wants Isaiah, and they're going to be able to offer more money. So, yeah, there's plenty of teams that can offer more money than us. It's just Isaiah basically saying, hey, look, my best possible fit is with the Knicks, especially after Mikal Bridges. Let me take $17 million versus $22 million annually. And it's, $5 more million a year is like, it's a lot of money, man. I'll never see $5 million. But at the same time, it's like, Isaiah with the Knicks has a lot of potential. He'd be the starting center in a championship roster. So it's actually more. We gave up 5 picks, so I'll go back to the trade for you. Let's see. So Mikal Bridges. Okay, so we're giving up 4 unprotected first and a protected first. So that's 5 first. And then we have an unprotected pick swap and a second rounder. It's a lot of capital, but Knicks fans are going to love Mikal Bridges. If you guys love OG, you're going to love him even more because he's basically a better OG, but more available. Like if Mikal Bridges was an unrestricted free agent, he would be making, I don't even know how much money, but he'd be making a lot of money, bro. If OG is getting $35 million a year at minimum, that's where the starting bid is with his injury history. I mean, imagine what Bridges would make. Get rid of Mitch, injury prone. Completely agree. It's not just the injury concerns. It's a lot of things. I just don't trust Mitch. I really don't. He's a great dude, though. I think Mitch has an amazing personality, and I think he's a great rebounder and shot blocker, but he's a liability, and we just can't afford that. If we want to win a championship, we can't have liabilities, right? So how would you grade this trade? I would give this trade – I'm going to give this trade an A. I'm also going to give it an A for the Nets. So I'm not saying the Knicks won this trade or the Nets won this trade. The reason why it's an A is because we just got – how do I phrase this? One of the most balanced players in basketball without giving up a big-time piece to our team, right? No Randle, no McBride, no Mitch even. We're probably going to trade Mitch for like a first-round pick or something like that, or maybe a player. Maybe we'll swap him with like Luke Kennard, get another shooter out there. But I get it's a lot of draft capital, but is there anybody in here right now that's a Knicks fan that doesn't want to win a championship? No, right? I want to see the team win a championship, man. I'm 25. I've never seen the Knicks win a championship. A lot of people, most 99% of people in here haven't seen the Knicks win a championship, right? So this move moves us closer to winning a championship. Like the picks don't matter, right? I wanted to get a piece to pair next to OG and Hartenstein and Brunson and Devo and Hart and McBride and Randle, right? And that's what we did. So I'm giving it an A. For the Nets, it's also an A because they got 5 first-round picks. Like I'm not just going to act like we didn't give up 5 first. That's a lot of first. Normally 5 first-round picks, you get a superstar type of player, right? You know, Mikal Bridges isn't Kevin Durant, but he's a better fit than KD to our team, right? So you have to understand that, numbers, I'm not going to say they're deceiving, but some players play above their stats. Like OG, for example, with his statistics, would not sort of match or fit with a guy who makes $40 million a year. But when he's on the court, like the Knicks, for example, remember how mid we were defensively? We were the number 1 ranked defense in January when we were healthy. We saw against Philly, OG was a huge piece to our team. So that's why he's worth the money. But I don't know if that makes any sense. But that's kind of where I'm at with Mikal Bridges. Is we became a significantly better basketball team. 5 first-round picks does not help us win a championship if we have 5 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges does help us win a championship. So if we had Mikal Bridges against the Pacers, we win that series. It's like he's that type of impact. Is he brings us a step closer to winning a championship. And that's what I want. Anything but a championship for the Knicks moving forward is a disappointing season. And Jalen Brunson, if you guys don't want to take my word, take his word, because his end-of-season press conference, he said that, hey, look, this season was a disappointment. We did not win the championship. And that's why I love Jalen Brunson, because he's the leader that we've been searching for, right? And now you add in a guy who can shoot the 3 ball, that can defend, that can even shoot off the dribble, who's a very highly efficient scorer with guys around him that can move the ball. I mean, this is an unbelievable trade, man. The number 1 player on my offseason wish list for the Knicks was Mikal Bridges, and we got him. I mean, that's just unbelievable, man. I mean, this is awesome. Like, I cannot wait for Knicks basketball. But again, we're, a couple of weeks removed from the finals, so it's going to be a long time. But it's just awesome to see, man. I mean, Knicks fans, if you guys don't watch a lot of Mikal Bridges, go watch videos of him because you're going to fall in love with the way he plays. But it's also his chemistry with the Knicks as well. He's a very, goofy kind of guy. Loves to joke around. And that's going to mesh well with a Josh Hart and a Brunson and a Devo, right? Like those types of guys. So if they were protected, I think it would be good, but your future could be bleak if it doesn't pan out. I mean, I'm not too concerned with unprotected first because, again, we have Jalen Brunson on our roster. We're making the playoffs every single year. He's healthy. Now, if Brunson gets injured, has a career-ending injury, obviously I'm going to be extremely concerned. But even, hypothetically, if that happened, we still have a good enough roster to where we'll be competitive. Julius Randle is a guy who, can give you 25 and 9 a night on 50%, and we have a bunch of good role players, right? So it's we'll be fine, man. We'll truly be fine. Who's our center if we trade Mitch and can't pay Hart? I actually have an answer for you. I have no clue how to pronounce his name, but who's the center on the Magic? Is that Magic fan still in here? This guy. I no clue how to say his name, but to answer your question, this guy right here will be our starting center if we cannot pay Isaiah and we trade Mitch. Yeah, I did actually research that, so that's how I know. But yeah, this is wild. I mean, Mikal Bridges is a Knick, dude. This is something you dream about. I mean, I know everyone in here loves the Knicks as much as I do. I mean, this is something I dream about is Mikal Bridges in a Knick uniform. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely a wait and see type of thing, but on paper, I mean, I love this move. We really didn't need those picks anyway. Tibbs doesn't care about developing players to begin with, and neither should he at the stage where the team's at. Yeah, that's the thing. Again, those draft picks don't help us win a championship. Even if we make those picks, they still have to develop. So Wendell Carter, I have not heard him being linked to the Knicks. I think I heard maybe 10 players be linked to the Knicks this offseason, and none of them were Wendell Carter. Not to say that he would not be a good fit here, but I have not heard that. Can we even match the money that other teams would offer? I heard no. We cannot match teams that are going to come after Isaiah Hartenstein. That's why it's basically Isaiah taking a pay cut or leaving. So English or Spanish. Definitely English. My Spanish, no bueno. Let Isaiah walk draft. Nah. I don't think it's fair to throw a rookie into our team right now and expect him to be able to compete. If we end up losing Isaiah Hartenstein, we're in serious trouble. I don't think Knicks fans understand the value that he provided us after the Mitch injury. Not to say that we can't bring in somebody else and he can be equally as productive, but why would we move on from Isaiah Hartenstein? I just don't know why we would do that, especially if he takes 18 million annually, which is the most we can offer him. I think it's like 17.8 or something. No, that should not even be on the table. I mean, if I could talk to Isaiah right now, which would be awesome, I would tell him that, hey, look, we can't pay you what other teams can, but what we can give you is the best chance at a championship and the best opportunity. You'd be the starting center for the New York Knicks. I mean, what better opportunity than that, right? It's sort of like how JJ Redick said that the biggest thing of his career, it wasn't playing at Duke, it wasn't playing in NBA Finals, it wasn't calling an NBA Finals game, it was coaching the Lakers. It's sort of like Isaiah Hartenstein. You're starting center for the New York Knicks. And it's not like he doesn't play a big role. Isaiah is just as important as anyone for our team, basically outside of Brunson and Randle, because of his ability to rebound and pass the basketball. And of course, I mean, he's a guy who, you dictate the board. So how many picks do we have left? Appreciate your content. Do not hold me to this, but I believe coming into this day, we had 9 first-round picks. So we traded 6 of them. Or sorry, we traded 5 of them? 5 of them. So that means we have 4. Do not quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure when I was watching ESPN a couple of days ago, they said we had 9 first. So I'm going to go with that. But Robert Williams would 100% be interesting. I mean, defensively, his ability to catch lobs, if we were to find a way to get him, I'm all for that. I just don't know how much money he's making. And I haven't heard about Robert Williams in a minute, I feel like. Did he get injured? I think he got injured. That's probably why. So if the Magic don't pick up a center in the draft or snag Isaiah from you, they'll keep Goga. Yeah, I mean, as they should, but that's sort of where we're at right now. But to be honest with you guys, I kind of want to go make a video so that way I can get it out for the channel. But if anybody has any last sort of comments or remarks, feel free to let me know, and I'll put it on the screen, and then I'm going to head out here and go make that video. But the reason why I'm going to end the stream is just because we need to wait for more information. We don't know what picks we're giving up. We don't know what's going to happen next. All we can do is essentially guess. Like, okay, the Knicks are still determined to keep OG in free agency, but now we can't re-sign Isaiah. I mean, I just need more info. I need more info, man. This is why I kind of wish I could just text somebody in the Knicks front office and be like, what's happening next? But obviously it doesn't work like that. But Isaiah takes a pay cut, signs a 1-year. That actually, Emmanuel, that's something that I actually thought about in one of my videos. Technically, you're correct. We could offer Isaiah a 1-year deal, and then that way we can offer him a max contract next season. Now, would we ever offer Isaiah Hartenstein a max contract? Hell no. But we would have higher level bird rights to his deal, which means that teams wouldn't be able to outbid us. Right now, teams can outbid us because he didn't play 3 years with us. He only played 2. He was here last year and this year. If he plays 3 years with us, then we have a higher percentage of his bird rights, which means that we can give him a huge contract. But if I'm Isaiah Hartenstein, am I risking an injury or a down year? No. So that's not going to happen, but it's definitely smart thinking. Like, I thought of that too. And but pretty much that's where I'm at. The New York Knicks traded for Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is a New York Knick right now. And I'm definitely pumped. I'm fired up, man. I cannot wait to see what happens next. But in terms of OG and Anunoby, we need to re-sign him. We need to re-sign him because if we're beating Boston, again, we need OG and Mikal Bridges on the wing defensively. Jalen Brunson is a bucket. Dante DiVincenzo is a lethal shooter. But if we don't have wing defenders to throw at Tatum and Brown, we're not beating them, right? Or what if we go up against the Mavs in the finals? Say the Mavs go back to the finals. We need somebody to throw at Luka. I mean, Luka is an amazing player. I'm not saying he would struggle, but it would make his life a lot more difficult with OG and Bridges sort of contesting him, right? So that's where I'm at. Appreciate you guys for coming out. If you want me to stream more often, let me know down in the comments, guys, and I'd gladly do so. Knicks for life, man. Peace.